So I'm getting close and zeroing in on that aspect, right, of auxiliary part of where they have a stated belief, mission statement, what you do and what you believe. And then when you put the question, what do they believe? What do they do? You're not getting answers back. You're getting a avenue that you chose of social media questionnaire that is designed to get spit out certain responses, and then you can expect that's what their PR and everyone is in charge is going to do. So their belief is in including, it's non-sectarian, non-political, their inclusion of all genders with respect to gender, race, and everything. But that's not a belief. And if it was, why do you need them to come in an auxiliary capacity? You know what I mean? That's still metering out. That's still kind of giving everybody a little bit of something to sustain in order to execute their duties in the order of representing the order of the mundane. That's the real unseen order. The real unseen order is the order of the mundane. These are actors. They play a part. They are uniform. They have to have an aspect of uniform that's recognized as a bib. It's a bib. You know what I mean? Like they have certain code and deistic rituals, right? And it's not demonizing them or anything like that. It's just what's pointing out is obvious. They are the grassroots representative of the benevolent aspect of masonry, right? That where representatives are actually chosen by a non-human representative order of mundane and archon. Does that sound like bad? You know what I mean? I'm like, they're witches, but they're only witches when they convene underneath these symbols, and they are recognized in particular order. Like they sit in certain pews. They have certain indications in the uniform code how they'll be recognized, and then they reconvene. And next time we'll see you will be in Salem, Washington. Bye. And you're like, what do we do? What do they do? Like how do you even know why you would want to join? Like, are you really going to get answers to your question when it's your fault in a way if you lose interest in the why that you would want to be one of them? Then they don't really have to, you know what I'm saying? They don't have to entertain that you're really about that, you know what I mean? They're not going to have the same response, and it's a given, you know what I mean? But they, they have this forum, then they put out there if you want to look it up what they are and what they do and everything. And yeah, there's nothing like sinister motivation. It's no sinister human motivation in the universe. You have to postulate under the belief of a creator and steward of the whole universe, which is a created universe, which makes it worldly, which makes it, because not all of this perspective in the cosmos is for you, which is why patience is a virtue, because you're wading through a lot and trying to filter through and see what pertains to the work that we're supposed to actually do on Earth, and it's everybody's different type of spirit, a different kind of purpose, and different kinds of spirit with different kinds of metaphysical information, and set out to succeed in different facets in order to complete the work, right? Are they really helping you if you look to them? Because they're not being asked or called. It's not really bearing their responsibility to learn us anything, to teach us anything. You know what I mean? You don't get mad if they don't teach you anything, because maybe the reason that some people get involved with them may be a little bit skewed as far as why they get a perspective that's warped, or why they get it, wrong. You know what I mean? Like, the sinister aspect is a non-human archon that's choosing them, yeah. But when you know what I'm talking about, it's not spooky dooky or anything like that. The corporatizing the Bolsheviks aspect is the clandestine aspect of Masonry. All the power of Masonry comes from geoengineering, which is the interest that why you would be, I mean, what is it that they're accepting that would be unique and that would describe them as oddfellows? And they say that they incorporate or have a forum or place for unique and not ordinary skill sets or something like this. Like, you know, it's like gonna be like, what do you do, bend metal differently? You know what I mean? Like, it's just another art form, isn't it? Like, it's unique, it's a different practice, and they try to preserve it. Okay, so you can make these particular kind of gargoyles for your front yard or something. Like, it's not menacing, even though there's going to be somebody who's mad that you have a gargoyle, and they're going to pace up and down the street and then walk up to your house, and then they're going to get exacerbated in a huff and walk away. They had something they were going to pin it to, like a note. They were going to pin it, and then they left, and you don't even know what they're doing. They're just like, they just don't like gargoyles. So they could be right, but they don't see the big picture, you know. And they wanted to wager accusation against the human aspect of the corporate interest that outsources it's consumer NGOs, it's COINTELPRO, it's all that shit, you know. Like, they had to work out and develop the mass media conduit that they have before they decided to come out and tell everybody that the mass media, that the media conglomeration is leaving the left-hand path in the past or something like this. Like, we're no longer, you know, because they got where they want to be, so they don't have an interest in association with the same agencies, if you want to call them that, agency. They get their agency from a plausible deniability that is placed or seated in the psyche through focus groups, and where you have like a benevolent and a malevolent aspect of something that I can't say that you wouldn't want to be a part of it. I can't tell somebody they might be on the right path. Just because it's puts them in proximity to the left-hand path doesn't mean that you're going to tell somebody to give up their vocation or whatever studies that they're into, to be dismissive of whatever it is that they can contribute to platforms. What is everybody crying about? They be crying about platforming. Like, the people that want to cry, the people that are into that. And wow, they were the ones encouraged. They were encouraged to be Jacobins, Bolshevik, and it was a corporate media agenda that pushed them into the compartment, like, of who, you know, could be depended on for moral outrage, for righteous indignation, for demonstrations of alienating a particular virulent aspect of society, and showing them that we're within a time that was not illegal to go around with a guillotine. Try that shit today, you know what I mean? There's not going to be any encouragement overtly where I want to be associated, but in the same instance, they want us to remember to agitate, you know what I mean? Remember to agitate. Looking the other way for some of your mostly peaceful demonstrations, and then overreacting of January 6th or something like this. If it's not a thing, why do you need political prisoners? If it's not a thing, why do certain people get caught up and then they can't figure out what to do with them? You know what I mean? You're in the wrong place at the wrong time, Ethiopian motorist. You know what I mean? Did you you ran over a all black clad wearing picketer that wanted to demonstrate by shutting down the freeway, and you tried to cut around a car because it was slowing down, and then fucking clipped somebody, and now they don't know what to do with you, if they're gonna release you because you didn't know that there was another fucking human being. You can't get manslaughter. You know what I mean? You might be a white supremacist though, even if you're an Ethiopian student. It doesn't, like, why does it, you know what I mean? You can't get past those hang-ups. We can, like, as a nation, it was just like, you don't have no neuroplasticity. Corporation wants to be a human because a human doesn't need to evolve as frequently to survive. Corporations have to go through staging evolution, you know, on a short-term projection, like in the short and long term. You know what I mean? Like humans, we don't like change. Change just messes up how we've become accustomed to become productive, to being productivity. It's threatening our mainstay or stable means to an end, and whatever, you know. Not into an end. Stable means. Just stable means. Means to an end, that's the other thing. You can't look at that anyways. You're not, that's why it's questioned about whether or not you actually die, you know. You just lose a physical form, and then you go into another context how you exist, or something that is living off of memory.